With this video, we will be doing Drake Culture Vulture Ways exposed on TikTok. And if you want to help this channel and the content that we're making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow. Only way we're going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Bruh, you know the crazy part about Drake saying you rapping like you trying to get the slaves freed? That he proved Kendrick right the whole fucking time. This whole battle, Kendrick has been giving Drake surgical assassinations of his character. The main one being that culturally he is not black. He merely is an actor in our culture. And then Drake gonna get on this record and sound like a fucking frat boy? Black Messiah, but you knifing up a mixed queen? Nigga, you're mixed! Then he acting like reverse racism is real, talking about unless you don't want to be seen with anyone that isn't blacker than you. Drake. Oh my God. This is exactly what Kendrick has been saying from the jump, bro. You don't get this shit, bro. No black man will get on a record and say some dumb ass shit like this. Bro really has a white man's understanding of racism. Now I know why he texted his mom that Rick Ross was being racist to him. He thinks Kendrick is being racist.
It's crazy.
And really, he's just saying that you move to this culture as a white man because you're not even invested in black culture as a whole. You don't speak on no real shit. You don't do no real shit for the community. All that shit went over Drake's head because he can only meet Kendrick at the level of his own understanding of race. I don't think Drake can ever come back from this, for me personally. What do y'all think? Who winning?
I don't think he come back from it either. A lot of people, I'm still trying to say, it's not over. Drake didn't lose his fan base. We still here. You know what I'm saying? We in the building. But I think it's over.
I just think it's a strong opinion out there towards him that wasn't quite as visible.
A week ago.
You know what I'm saying? A week ago. You didn't feel all this, pretty much feel like hate almost.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of haters
And it don't feel like it's going away. It feel like it's actually just getting started.
It feel like it's getting bigger.
Yeah, facts. By the day, like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Who winning? How about this? Take a look at this young lady. This is how I feel every single time I even think about this mess about who's winning.
Boom! Let me see you push a T. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
That shit go there.
Niggas like him should die. We don't want to hear you say A minor.
Oh, yeah. That's how she cleaned it up?
Yeah. Tell me that wasn't you. OV ho. Okay, fine. Let's get back. Because this girl actually, she gets into a dissertation. Check this out.
We're now dealing with a homicide inquiry.
Now you're talking.
Yes, I am. I know that.
What happens when you lack it? Am I about to DEI a rap beef? Yes, keep up. Let's talk about it. If you were surprised Drake is being called out as a culture vulture, you haven't been really paying attention to what's been happening within Black culture over the past few years. Black people have become very aware and very vocal and verbal about gatekeeping the culture and revoking these invites to the cookout that were being given away for free. Not only being given away for free, but being given to people who were mimicking aspects of Black culture, being able to do Black dances, being able to rap, do, you know, these silly, oh, she gets an invite to the cookout. Here's where Drake comes into play. Yes, he is a biracial man with a Black American father. However, Drake is not of Black American culture. Drake has no...
He's not. You seen the videos of him when he say he was raised in a Jewish neighborhood and he go to a predominantly Jewish school. So that's let you know how he was raised and upbrought. He wasn't brought up really in the culture. He was on the outside looking in more than the inside looking out.
I hear that perspective.
No cultural literacy or understanding of Black culture or respect for Black history, Black culture, specifically the Black American experience, which is why he was able to get on a track and use slavery, American slavery, as a bar. Drake hasn't changed. I imagine Drake is sitting somewhere very surprised he's on the receiving end of this backlash because Drake hasn't changed. What's changed is the appreciation of Black culture. And when I say appreciation of Black culture is actually not a correct term. What has changed is the understanding, the appreciation of Black culture that we are seeing within society over the past few years. We are now more connected than ever. We are able to connect with one another on social media. And not only are we able to connect with one another, we see the ways in which our culture is being appropriated, and not only the ways in which Black culture is being appropriated, but people are profiting off of it in a way Black Americans are not able to. This is in front of our face every single day we get on this app.
Okay, I think that's all. I see what you're saying. She going way over there. I don't have nothing to do with
that's really, why I didn't really want to say anything at first. I know it's kind of like a little gap there, but I was like, I want to see where she's going with this.
Yeah, I can see where she's going with it.
She sounded like she's talking about more like people, what they looking in the mirror and seeing, and what is being distinguished as what we are as a whole. Yeah. Because ain't nobody looking and saying, oh, here's the doctor, here's the lawyer. They be like, they shaking, they twerking, they, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight up.
But I think what's going on is it's more like reaction channels and just the way media is set up now. Before you had to get it from an outlet, the information. But reactors and people that's on YouTube is covering stuff that's really not on the main news. So you getting all the stuff that you normally wouldn't get by just looking at the regular news stuff. So you find out so much more information. I found out so much just by looking at other YouTube channels what was going on in this situation that I wouldn't known if I was just looking at the regular sources that they give you to choose from.
But also with the speed of which information is coming out, and when you did have things where it was structured like that, where it was just coming from this source and just coming from this source, it was more of a complaint because you were like, you guys are picking the guy with no teeth who can't speak, who's on the news, you know what I'm saying? But now it's more like people are putting out
their opinions.
With their opinions. And it's like, we should put out a better opinion of what we want to be seen as than just the nonsense all the time.
And it's crazy. It's heading in the right direction because you're right, because people are noticing what's going on and they are speaking on it. So making other platforms kind of get it together a little bit because people like, who said that? Kendrick. The people are not slow. So y'all keep trying to approach them like they're slow, you're gonna get a backlash like he's getting, because people are no longer slow. People are more woke, more information out there, and just through our comment section, we know a lot more people know what's just going on in the world.
They're processing the information
a lot better.
And Black people are pissed about it. Rap music is a creation. It was birthed from Black American culture, Black American struggle, the Black American experience. When you have somebody like Drake, who is not only not of that culture, but has no respect for or appreciation of that culture, and is the top grossing male rapper in the culture, or in the genre rather, that's gonna piss a lot of people off. On top of it pissing a lot of...
I almost come across as culture vulture. Like, we don't really care about the culture. We just here to get our money and we're gonna dip. And not only we're gonna dip, we're not gonna put nothing into the communities. We just here to suck it dry and we're not gonna put nothing back there. It's gonna be worse off than when we was around because we're not putting nothing back. We're just sucking out the resources that's there and keeping it moving. And they showed that so much with Drake, which I've been noticing over the days. I never really paid attention to it. Like when Kendrick brought it out, how you telling everybody flow and the people going into it, how he got reference tracks and he's grabbing other people's flows. XXX was the first one to bring it up when he stole his flow. Soulja Boy talked about it when they Kiss Me Through the Phone when he was saying Drake was stealing his flow. So you just seen a pattern of a habit that he's been doing this for a long time and it's now really being brought into the light with a whole mass to see that one time.
It's because everybody paying attention right now. You know what I'm saying? For a minute there, everybody was just bopping their head. Wasn't nobody really looking at none stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We're in a different time. People, like, we grew up in a time when you had it in your hand. And certain people would process it if they were a fan. They would look at the CD and look at the producer and look at all that stuff. But now that's not in your hand. But people are actually looking for that information. They're looking for the sample. They're looking for who writing. They're looking for, you know what I'm saying?
All that.
So
and it's getting posted all over social media.
Yeah, there's no hiding that information.
Nah.
Of people off. Drake never came into rap music paying homage or giving respect to the rappers who came before him. Drake doesn't have an appreciation of Black culture outside of the ways he can use it to cosplay a rapper and the ways he can use it to enrich and benefit himself. That's where his issue lies, because there's a difference between appreciation and appropriation. We've been seeing the same type of appropriation from Drake since he got into the game, but there is an increased appreciation for Black culture and an increased desire to protect it and respect it. And that's where Drake is getting messed up, because he is not respectful of Black culture at all. Drake doesn't care about black people. Not only is he not respectful.
She Kanye West. She just Kanye this man in 4K. That's crazy.
Right, wow.
Drake doesn't care about black people. Not only is he not respectful of black culture, he does not seek to educate himself, and there is no literacy there is no competency there is no understanding there, and there is no desire for any of that to happen on Drake's behalf. What we're seeing right now with Drake and Kendrick Lamar is a perfect example of cultural competency and what happens when you lack.
And that's exactly what Kendrick exposed. But you know what? Let's get in on this dissertation.
He definitely did expose that and brought it to the light. Because when people put stuff in diss songs now, people are going to go find the receipts of exactly what they talking about. And they're going to broadcast them receipts. And that's what we see right now. Everyone's looking for stuff and they broadcasting receipts. And everyone's paying attention to the receipts that's being brought to the table. I'm
so interested in the multitude of perspectives that you're getting from people. Like,
it's crazy.
Like I enjoyed listening to her. I mean,
different perspective.
I have a whole different perspective. Idea how I'm looking at things, and I can't say I agree with a lot of what she said, but a lot of it is like I could see why you think like that.
Yeah, you could see like. So most of the time you only see your perspective, but when you see other people's perspective, you're like, yo, you're looking at a completely different lens than I'm looking at.
At all.
A completely different lens where you look at so much, you pull back so much more layers.
Yeah, but you can respect what somebody's thinking.
It's their perspective, yeah.
I don't think y'all realize how much Not Like Us drove home Kendrick's point.
Not Like Us.
Kendrick Lamar has pretty much been calling out Drake and others who benefit and cosplay from black culture, but specifically speaking, African American culture. Okay, that is a very, very crucial part of this entire thing. And up until Not Like Us, they were pretty much going tit for tat. Okay, you throw a friendly jab, I'm gonna throw a friendly jab right back.
Right back.
You talk about my crew, I'm gonna talk about your crew. Oh, now you want to talk about families? Okay,
I'm talking about your family.
Oh, so I got an illegitimate 11-year-old child. Well, your son not yours. Yeah, your child not yours at all. Oh, I like to touch on little kids. Okay, bet. You be beating your wife. Yeah, you be beating your wife. And don't misconstrue tit for tat, theme for theme, for bar, because I feel like Kendrick is a clear winner in all of this. But I digress. They were pretty much keeping up with each other as far as like the theme of song that they were making. Until we got to Not Like Us. Once we got to Not Like Us, Kendrick drove his point home by literally going home. That man made a West Coast banger.
Yeah.
Like look at this right here. Look at this right here. And I'm not saying everybody was song because I feel like the entire world is. I'm on the north side of Atlanta.
Okay.
That's my anthem right now. What are we talking about? Stay with me. About to bring it all full circle.
Jeez, that's my anthem right now.
You know what I mean? And so Kendrick took it to his culture. And Drake couldn't do that. And this is no shade to Toronto, Canada. I'm not saying y'all don't have a culture. But what I am saying is one of the biggest rappers in the world, globally, is a Canadian man, and gun to head outside of Canada, we don't know what a Canadian Toronto rapper sounds like. I can tell you what a Canadian Toronto rapper cosplaying as a Houston rapper sounds like, cosplaying as an Atlanta rapper sounds like, hell, pretending like he's from Memphis. I can tell you what that sounds like.
You never really ever thought about that until she said that. Like, I don't know what the Canadian sounds like. You feel what I'm saying? But I know it's not Drake because, like they said, Drake is just all these things into one that you never really thought about until somebody broke it down to you. And it's like one of them things, once you see it, you could never unsee it.
Drake's like a bowl of experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's experienced all these places, you know what I mean, at such a level.
Yeah.
So he's taking the highest form of all these experiences and throwing at you. It's different.
It's crazy. It's a different way of seeing the game. It's almost like he took what Nilly Manilli did and took it to a whole nother level.
Whoo!
But as far as what the Toronto sound
hit him with
sounds
the
like,
Nilly, damn!
The rest of the world, we can't tell y'all that. That's crazy. And what I love most about Not Like Us is when Kendrick took his point home, when he took it back to his culture, the West Coast, he told Drake, and don't you dare step foot in Atlanta when you respond to me for this. Because no matter how much you love to pretend, you're not from there.
Woo! Exactly. But you know what? I found this young lady. She's Canadian. And she gives us an insight glimpse into why Drake is so disconnected from the culture. And how she says a lot of Black Canadians might be like that. If you are Black and Canadian, let me know if you think this is all cap in the audience. Let me know in the audience, in the comment box. For right now, just listen and hear me out. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation.
That's right.
I think that can explain a lot of Drake's weirdo behavior.
We about to see.
So the whole world's talking about this Drake-Kendrick beef and the diss and how it escalated now. I think there was a shooting last night in Toronto at Drake's house. And I don't particularly have an opinion. I'm from Canada. I was born and raised in Montreal. My parents are Congolese. And the one thing I wanted to address or to talk about is the Canadian Blackness identity. That's a bit like... that can get a bit weird. Being raised and born in Canada, if I'm talking about my own experience, I can say that my Black identity is something that came much later. Like, I didn't have the concept of a lot of the civil rights movement, the this and the that, and like the understanding of the ecosystem, because unless your surroundings, your friends, your family are actively teaching you about Black history, and by Black I mean like the wide, like Black history, not just like I'm from Congo, I knew the Congolese history, but from a Blackness, racism perspective. Canada does not do a good job at all from an education system, and I'll talk about Montreal in the French system, at exposing us to that reality. The first time I heard about the civil rights movement, I was all the way...
I don't think they don't really do a good job at giving you the history anywhere.
Yeah, but it, you know what I'm saying, it's a difference in history being withheld.
Yeah.
And history not even being
told at all.
Exposed or told at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just two different levels. She's saying they, like, as a reader, she ain't even see it till she went to college.
Yeah. You be hearing out a lot from like other countries that they never heard about really the civil rights movement until they came to America. Like they don't teach in other places.
Right.
Like,
here it's like limited. You know, you got your highlight reel of people they tell you about, your Martins, your Malcolms.
Yeah.
You might hear Marcus Garvey, Rosa Parks. That's about it.
Yeah. That's
you know what I'm saying? Anything else is a little deeper. You gotta look for yourself.
Yeah. Might get George Washington Carver made a peanut.
In college, I was 17 years old, and people were talking about a lot of things that just did not exist in our ecosystem. It was just not part of the culture. There's a lot of like different things that get talked a lot about, like language, French, English, being born in Montreal.
Right.
But this whole like concept of race and what it actually means, and the history, like Black History Month being celebrated, and like even like the transatlantic slavery, like the whole concept, like it didn't actually hit until I was much older. And that's just because Canada does a really good job at erasing and presenting history as they wish.
Whitewashing.
And there's not.
That's what we just was talking about. It's like, yo, they give you what they want to give you.
Yeah.
But if you want to know, you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper. You feel what I'm saying?
Not a lot of like, in Montreal that is, back 20 plus years ago, good concept of like Blackness in history. So I relate to Drake, like honestly, like when it comes to like this whole like just understanding hip hop and relating to it, and just understanding what does it actually mean to be Black in this side of the world. We face racism before we understand the concept. And then comes all, you know, the layers of it, colorism, tokenism, and all these other isms.
Other isms. A bunch of isms.
Got exposed a lot later. Like, I guess what I'm trying to explain is that what you like, as much as I feel roasted when y'all are roasting Drake for not having, for tokenizing, for being a culture vulture, I feel as a Canadian Black immigrant or whatever, I feel like you're like personally attacking me. And like, I know I'm not alone here, and I hope I'll find my people, but
it's almost like she feel like he's the representative of who I am.
Yeah.
And if you shooting him down, and I gotta take a bullet too.
It'd be like when other cultures come to other cultures, they feel like what their culture doing is whack, so they want to mimic what your culture doing because they think it looks cooler to them, it feels cooler.
But from where she at, just like, you know, he's the biggest in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But from where she's at, he's the image that they see, and she's like, "This is cool," and all of a sudden it's like, "That's not cool."
Yeah, she's basically saying like wherever they from, like they mimic what they see.
Yeah.
People in the United States doing more than they mimic people that's in Canada doing. She's saying her and Drake is the same on that level. They just mimicking what they see people over here doing because nobody's doing nothing like that
original.
And where they from?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Like, just be nice, people. It's not our fault. We're not born in the U.S. We're very close to the U.S.
Right.
The history is a bit different. The societal makeup is a bit different.
Yeah.
It's very ambiguous. They don't talk proactively about what happened. It's not like in your face. It's very hush-hush and hidden. And honestly,
so she also saying like Drake don't know what's really going on like that in the culture because they don't teach it where they at. Like,
yeah, because she's saying from a historical basis as well. She was like, we don't really
talk about it over here like that.
The people, like that. So we see what we see, and this is what we see.
What we get from TV, the news, magazine.
This is what we see, and then we emulate what we see. So if that's the issue, then I'm equally as guilty.
Yeah, I think this right here was like one of the better TikToks because she's just talking about what's going on in Canada from a Canada perspective. Like nobody knows what's going in Canada. Let someone over there tell us, and then I could look at it from a perspective like, oh, that makes sense.
Because it's not just affecting him from what she's saying; it's affecting them,
all of them over there.
Honestly, I don't think that if we weren't so close to the U.S., we would get access to a lot of that information. So, you know, that's it.
Now, I think that she did a really great job experiencing why Drake is so conflicted and really is cosplaying. But that said, and I appreciate her sharing that, and I understand the burden, but Drake don't get no pass.
No passes.
Because at the end of the day, Drake is not only cosplaying, but he's centering himself. He wants to be the loudest voice in the culture, and he's disrespectful with it. He has no respect for the culture. He has no love for the culture. He has no care for the culture, which is why he could call us slaves and think it was going to hit. He don't understand. He don't know. Again, I understand the plight Drake and many like him might be going through in Canada, and you get sympathy. Until you come and center yourself in somebody's culture and use that as a way to degrade them. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later.
Straight TV.
Well done, Viv.
Lamar Wilson here representing Ghetto Action News Network _. All lower cases.
No spaces.
You'll find us on Facebook, and when you do, follow the page, like something, leave some comments, share something, and come back. All right, we're going to get into this.
Let's get it.
This was an interesting video. Drake Culture Vulture Ways Exposed. And it was from multiple people. Yeah. Just their thoughts, their perspectives. Yeah. I didn't realize that it was running so deep like this for Drake. You know what I'm saying? I know this started from rap battle, but there's layers to this. Yeah. And people who have strong opinions. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? As a musician, I always thought it was just, a vibe. I just thought this was like the battle. But this is turning out to be like people really just, whoo!
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't know you wasn't black enough. But you know what I'm saying?
I ain't know either.
But it's dope to hear different perspectives and see different people opinions. And I thought this was highly entertaining. What you think?
I thought it was highly entertaining, and I definitely like to see other people's perspective because it makes you think of something that you probably didn't think of, or see it from a light you didn't see it, or even see it from a perspective. People think like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's really that deep.
So it's just nice to see those perspectives, to see it all the way around. And I think that's why this is not over for Drake. That's why I think it's just getting started, because people are so opinionated. And it's just so easy to get your opinion out here right now. And everyone's giving their opinion on the situation. Every day is looking worse and worse and worse. And it seems like more stuff is going to come. Just people doing research every day and just pulling out more and more receipts every day. And I don't see people stopping doing their research anytime soon and sending the receipts out. Can't wait to see what come from the situation. But until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.